The information given on this program is not, nor is it intended to be legal advice. You should consult an attorney for individual advice regarding your own situation. Legal Help Live is brought to you by Barney's Beanery, with 4 new locations in the Los Angeles area.
Hey everybody, it's time for Legal Help Live. I am Ralph and that's Steve, and we have some amazing stuff to go over with you today. Stuff. We call that legal. That's a legal term for things in the legal realm to talk about. We'll be answering all your questions.
Wait. Stuff is like stuffing.
Well, that's
for turkey.
That's one definition, but stuff is also a very specific legal term that has to do with legal questions, particularly when you call in at 1-800-405-4222. That's the number to call in, ask a legal question. And legal questions come in packages like what? Like what, Stephen?
A stuff package.
It's stuffed in these boxes.
Want to call us about traffic tickets, automobiles, auto safety, Toyotas with problems, airbags, airplanes with problems,
everything.
Gas prices. Anything to do with
neighbors yelling at neighbors.
Noisy neighbors.
Neighbors, trees falling on neighbors' houses.
Alimony, child support.
I don't even want to think about that.
Landlords that don't like you.
Tenants that don't like their landlords. People just don't get along. You know what? If you could think of a conflict between people, that's the kind of thing that generates legal questions, and that's why you would call us at 1-800-405-4222 and ask that legal question. It's kind of fun. And you know what? Because we're in the season, holidays and stuff like that, more stuff.
More stuff.
Yeah. We're going to give a gift certificate for dinner for 2 or lunch, I suppose, to anybody who calls, gets on the air, and asks a legal question. We'll give you a gift certificate for 2 at a place of our choice.
And if you're a major league athlete in any sport and want to know what's going to happen if you get into spousal abuse, give us a call. Child abuse, give us a call. We'll deal with all your sports questions. Questions about whether or not we can have gambling institutions online, whether it violates the NFL rights, whether we should have sports facilities like a football team here in Southern California. Whether Santa Monica Beach ought to have a requirement that they paint the sand a color for artistic purposes.
I think
that would be allowed.
I think that's a great idea. You know, sports legal questions used to be, can the guy hit a fastball and how much can he make in arbitration? Now it's, can he hit his wife? It's a real shame, or child even. Now we're dealing with that as well. Anyway, call us at 1-800-405-4222. That's the number to call and ask a legal question.
Well, talking about smelly lawsuits, one of the things I just noticed that's kind of interesting is that city of San Diego down in the La Jolla area is being sued because of sea lion poop. Now, down in the La Jolla area is a beautiful area by the ocean. They used to have seagull problems and poop, and now the sea lions are coming up on the rocks and on the sidewalk areas, and are sitting there by the beach there and pooping. And one of the businesses in the area says it's just hurting his restaurant because the smell.
How do you sue a sea lion?
Well,
how do you name a sea lion?
I guess he would be the culprit. I remember we had a guest a few years ago that would have defended the sea lion if he or she got sued. But can you imagine that the restaurant's now saying the smell on the beach is so bad, nobody's coming here. So
does the sea lion complain about the smell coming from the kitchen of the restaurant? You did that really, really well. So, folks, 1-800-405-4222. Well, here's one. Speaking of not sea lions, there are a group of people in Utah, and one of them just recently asked for and received her driver's license, and the photograph in the driver's license, she insisted that she have, you know what a pasta colander is?
Yeah, it's the thing you put the pasta in when the
right,
the
and
holes
it drains
in it.
the water. It's got holes. She insisted that she place it upside down on her head, and she's a member of the Pastafarian religious organization, and this is the best part. The state of Utah recognizes this as a religious group, and they allowed her and others to have her driver's license photographed with a pasta colander on upside down on her head.
A Rasta.
Well, this is Pastafarian.
Oh,
I
so
think that's pretty
if I
cute.
took this glass and you had some religious belief of it, and I put it on your head with all the water in it, that would be legal.
Only if the water is part of the religious service or ceremony.
I can't believe this.
That's true.
What is this world coming to?
Pastafarians, they're everywhere. At least they're in Utah. There could be elsewhere too, I'm not sure.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Then I saw it, and if you've got questions about this or comments, give us a call and we'll get you on the air. But recently, you know, these running kind of shoes, and where you can see the toes.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
So
yeah, I know what that is.
So one of these running groups advertised that the shoe, it looks like a sock. Really,
Looks like a glove for a foot.
Yeah, it was capable of making the runner's feet stronger and less susceptible to injury. That
Okay.
little comment on those shoes has cost them $3.7 million. 154,929 claims were filed from people who bought these, and they are getting, quote, paid a lot of money because it doesn't allegedly help you. They've settled now. It doesn't help your feet. It doesn't help you run better, and it's and this was reported by Runner's World, which I thought was interesting. So
Very interesting. Well,
and I think it looks ugly, to tell you the truth.
I could never figure out the purpose of it. Now I know the purpose. You buy them and then you get to sue the company. We've got Greg on the phone. I think we should go to the telephones and talk.
Is he wearing the five?
We'll find out. We've got to ask that question. Hey, Greg, come on in and talk to us.
Hey guys, how's it going?
We're doing awfully well.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Torrance.
Torrance? I know it well. So what can we do for you
There you
today?
go. Well, I had a question for you guys. I just got back from a trip to Europe. I was there for about 2 weeks, and before I left, I called my cell phone company and just wanted to make sure that my cell phone was going to work and, you know, how much it was going to charge, if it was going to do the whole roaming thing. And they told me that I could pay a $100 flat rate, and my phone would work with the SIM card in it without changing anything, and it would work in Europe, which it did perfectly fine, but they said it would be a $100 one-time fee, and when I got back, it would be on my next bill. Well, when I got back, the bill that I received was $15,000,
Jesus.
actually $15,600.
Wait, 15,000.
I'm sorry for laughing, but good God.
Yeah,
Are
and
you
that's,
are you
and I
married?
was a little surprised.
Are you married?
Yes, yes.
Well, if your wife did that, I could just see what
So
you'd
you
be
could
saying.
imagine the conversation I had when she saw the bill.
You know what? That's never happened to me. But I
Yeah,
do.
and I was surprised to see that. So when I called them, I said, you know, obviously, you know, this is wrong. I was told it was a $100 flat rate, and I've never heard of anybody paying that kind of thing. But they're starting to give me the runaround, and I wanted to see what sort of action I could take to remedy this, because this is a little ridiculous.
Let me ask you this. I know somebody who actually had something similar. $15,000 is nuts, but this person was supposed to pay $100 or $110, something in that range. And they came back and they had a several $100 bill because the phone company didn't make the appropriate adjustment when they were supposed to. And what he did was go back, get a printout of the confirmation that he got from the phone company when he first arranged for that $110, $115 flat rate fee, and he called the appropriate person at the phone company. I assume and I hope that you have a printed copy, or you can electronically reproduce a copy and print it so that you can tell the phone company that, hey, look, I struck a deal, here's the date, this is when we were gone, this is what we were supposed to pay, and $15,000 is just wrong. I hope you have something.
I got the confirmation email saying that the $100 would be placed on my next billing cycle.
Well, haven't they adjusted it already? When you
What's
told
that?
when you called them, didn't they adjust it immediately?
No, they were saying that because of the location I traveled to, you know, or something about the provider that my card connected through, it was going to be more expensive. they started getting into like the technical aspect of it, and I was like, well, that's not what I was told. I was told it was $100 and my phone would work.
You know, first you wait 25 minutes to get on the line with them. And during that time, they try and sell you everything in the world because they've got you on the phone. And then they get on, and then they give you a really rough treatment most of the times. You know, you don't owe more than the $105 or whatever that thing is. You got the confirmation of it. Have they threatened now to turn your phone off?
No, because I told them I was going to pay the standard bill for my phone here, but my next billing cycle hasn't come up. So my only real question then is, if I show them the confirmation and they still refuse to reduce the charges, where do I go with that?
Yeah, here's my suggestion. If this were $10,000 or less, you could, if you can't resolve it amicably and straightforward with a phone company by telephone, then there's small claims. But small claims has a $10,000 limit, so
but he's not
that's a
suing
problem.
them for the money. He's suing them for.
He doesn't want to pay the money.
He doesn't want to pay the money.
But still, there's that. Small claims, I think, is out of the question. However,
why would it be out of the question?
Because you're not going to get a judge to have a conversation about $15,000.
He'll waive anything in excess of it.
Well, I don't know that. I wouldn't do that.
How about the Public Utilities Commission?
That's what I was going to suggest. I wouldn't suggest small claims. I would suggest calling the Public Utilities Commission. The PUC lives to regulate the phone, other carriers and companies as well, but they live to regulate the telephone companies. I suggest you call the PUC directly. If you can't amicably and quickly resolve it with the telephone companies directly, go to the PUC, talk to them, tell them what you just told us, and I'll bet that they can resolve it for you.
And
that's outrageous.
There's another thing you could do too, is you can go on and I use the phrase Google just because everybody knows what it is. You can go on and Google, put in what's happening to you, and I bet you'll find there's some local class actions going on over this issue too. So you might want to.
That's a possibility.
Might want to jump into that, but PUC,
Okay.
They'll probably adjust it because they're totally wrong in this situation.
Oh, absolutely. And they have this conversation with a lot of people a lot of times because the phone companies mess things up a lot.
You know, one of the times.
We're going to go now.
Okay.
Greg, thanks for calling Legal Help Live. Appreciate the call. We're going to take a little bit of a break. Folks, when we come back, you'll be calling us at 1-800-405-4222. That's the number, and we'll see you all in a moment.
For more Legal Help Live.
Is this camera not working? Is that camera not working?
Discover 30 years of opera in Santa Monica. Discover the Verdi Chorus.
Riding a bicycle can seem like child's play.
But only if you're playing indoors. Cars and bikes need to play together.
Play it safe. Ride by the rules.
Hey, share the road.
Who knows what gratitude means? Nicholas?
To be thankful.
Writing letters to our military is a great way to say thank you for their service.
Frisco! Somebody loves you.
Dear soldier, thank you for keeping me safe. You're my hero.
To donate or send a care package to America's heroes, visit OperationGratitude.com.
I thought I had everything under control. Then, one day, something happened. I didn't know how to stop it. I didn't know there was help. Until someone told me.
Providing access to justice, the Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles can help with domestic violence issues, eviction defense, government benefits, immigration, and other civil legal issues.
Welcome back, everybody. We are Legal Help Live. I'm Ralph. This is Steve. We've been answering your legal questions. We've had already started with a bang and a very interesting $15,000 telephone bill.
Hello, Saltzman. It's $15,000. I'm calling you on my cell phone.
And that's for 100 minutes.
I said I could go to Europe. It wouldn't charge me much. They said
I'd
pay $100, and now it's $15,000.
The poor guy pays $500 for a one-way ticket to Europe, and then he gets a $15,000 phone bill.
And he couldn't even blame it on his wife this time.
Well, we don't know what really went on, but I think with the suggestions we had, they'll resolve that.
You know about cell phones, and another thing that's interesting about cell phones is that the phone companies lock you into these 2 and 3 year deals.
Yes, they do.
And it's probably better off to not lock into the deals, buy the cell phone outright, pay a little more for the cell phone. You can negotiate then a much cheaper rate and decide what you really need.
Yeah.
And then if you don't like what the service you're getting, or you get in a situation like this, you can just change. You're out of there. The other way, you're locked in for a long time.
That's the over-the-shoulder rule. It's like gone.
Yeah. So pay extra for the cell phone, and then get yourself a monthly cell service, and you can throw it away.
Great segue.
You can switch.
Great segue. We're talking about telephones, and we have Kate on the line. Kate, you've called us at 1-800-405-4222, and we want to talk to you. What's happening?
Yes. Hello. Thank you. Thank you for taking my call.
You bet. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Pacific Palisades.
Oh, okay. Very good.
The power line from next door fell onto our house and was sparking, and it started a fire. The fire company came and put out the fire, but we lost some of our roof, and it's going to cost about $18,000 to repair it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have any recourse to sue the power company or my neighbors' homeowners or the city. So I would just like you to give me some advice on that, please.
Well, let me ask a couple of questions preliminarily. Did the power company, you think, did something wrong? Was there some negligence in the way they strung the wire? Was this during one of the windy sessions we've had recently?
Yes. It was definitely during one of those windy sessions that we had.
So the power line, the power pole breaks or the line breaks?
The line.
The line breaks, and does it go onto your roof?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I assume you have homeowners insurance.
We have homeowners insurance.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
You need to make a claim under your homeowners insurance policy. Have you done that?
No, I have not done that.
Okay, you make a claim under your homeowner's insurance policy. The general provisions of that policy should cover anything that's hit your building, and it might well cover that. They're going to look into it and see what the quote cause of the injury is. That'll depend whether you have. There might be some exclusions. I can't tell without looking at the policy. But the first thing you do is you want to make a claim on your own policy. That'll
my own policy.
Your own policy right away.
Right away. Okay.
The second thing, and they'll goof around with you for 60 to 90 days for the property damage situation. Is the pole up now, and is the service hooked back up?
Yes, the service is back up.
And you've got
how long did it take the power company to come out and fix things?
To fix things, they had so many calls that one particular weekend. I think it was about 4 days.
4 days? That's outrageous.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know if it's outrageous. We get these these emergency things that happen here, and probably it powers out for all over the community.
If there's a lot.
You just demand too much sometimes.
No, it's not a demand. It's my expectation. I think that they provide such a good service. I'm surprised that they took 4 days.
I mean, you just have to watch what's going on in the United States of America with the polar weather going in, and places are out for 2 and 3 weeks.
I'll tell you what, if we get a foot of snow in the Palisades.
We have a foot of snow in the Palisades.
Oh my God, I can't wait to get out. If we had a foot of snow in the Palisades, I would expect the power company to take 4 days to put up a pole or take down a line.
There will be a foot of snow in the Palisades. by the time we're through with the show.
Okay.
Well,
I'm writing that down.
Another thing that you might want to check, have you had someone come in and taken photographs of what had the damage that you've suffered?
Yes, I knew to do that. I knew to do that. I had my handyman come in and get up on the roof and take photos.
Okay, and get a contractor out there and get some estimates as to what's going to cost you.
Okay.
And
how many estimates should I have?
Two or three reputable contractors or roofing companies. That should do it.
Then you're going to actually
yes.
Licensed contractors.
Please make sure they have appropriate licenses.
In California, there's no such thing as an unlicensed contractor. They're not really contractors. So in order to get reliance upon what they're doing, they got to be licensed. Because if you have an unlicensed contractor giving you information, you're just wasting your time. And they don't charge you to give you the estimates. So some of them want the work, some don't want the work. But and then you have to look around and see what might have caused this. Was this caused by the wind? That's one thing. Was it caused by some structural problem in the telephone poles or how it was put up there, etc.? Probably not going to have a lawsuit.
I don't think so. This is exactly one of the big reasons why you want to have homeowners and fire insurance, because fires happen, and they happen through acts of God such as this.
But let's go back from that.
One of the
things that most people don't do when they get insurance is ever look to see what's covered and what's not covered. You'd be surprised when you look at your insurance policy and you think you have protection against this kind of an injury. You may not. There's, the policy is written in fairly good-sized words, and then the print gets smaller, and there are exclusions. They don't cover this kind of damage. They don't cover earthquake damage. They don't cover water damage. They don't cover alcohol damage. When you get a policy of insurance for your house, you might want to just kind of see what you're covered by.
That's always a good idea. Always.
But those are the steps. Take these steps and give us a call back when we're next on the air. And if you have problems, we'll send you some other way.
I hope you can get your roof fixed before the rainy season, whatever year that happens.
That comes after the snow season.
It probably does.
That's true.
Okay.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your advice, and I will take it and
good
do
luck.
what you told me to do.
Okay, Kate.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling Legal Help Live. We got a lineup of people who want to talk to us. Let's pick up. How about Jane? Jane, are you ready for us? Jane?
Yes.
Me, Tarzan. You, Jane.
Jane, where are you calling from, and is it snowing there yet?
No, actually, I'm calling from Hawthorne, and there's no snow.
Okay. What can we do for you, Jane?
Well, I have a question I live next to what is now a nightclub. It used to be a family-owned sort of restaurant diner type of place. And this nightclub is open night hours, and I think it's open till like 2 or 3 in the morning. And the problem is the noise is horrendous, and the clientele is not desirable for my middle school children at this point in their lives. And we're not able to sleep, and it's impacting the sleep of my children. And I'm wondering if there's any recourse, if there's something I can do about this.
How far away do you live from this place?
It's actually only about probably like a half a block down the street.
Okay. And do you have other residential neighbors within that block or so?
Yes.
And have you spoken with them? Do they have the same kind of issues with the same kind of noise that you do?
Yes, very much so. Yes.
Does the nightclub have an alcohol license?
Yes, they do.
Okay. So and is it within the city of Hawthorne?
Correct.
Well, there's a lot of things you can do. First of all, get a little meeting of your neighbors together, maybe 6 or 8 or 10 of them. I'm sure you're all friendly and talk a little bit. Talk about the problem. Get yourself a log together where you can list the date, the time, the place, and start logging all the events that are going down so you'll have a record of it. You can take some videos of what's going on from your own premise. Your neighbors can all keep logs, etc. So you can have some records of what's going on. And then make a complaint with the Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control, which is the state agency that regulates the liquor license, and they'll take these complaints and they'll send some investigators out, invite them to a meeting of the homeowners. They'll come out.
They will.
And if you have these logs and records, they can take some action against the liquor license or put the fear of, you name it, into the nightclub, that maybe they'll immediately change their habits.
Yeah, everything Steve just said is exactly right. I would add one little component, and that is to involve, especially in the meeting. And if the ABC can't meet right away, you can still meet with the Hawthorne Police Department. I would try to involve the Hawthorne Police Department in the entire process for the following reason. It's the ABC that takes away the ABC license. And if they lose their ABC license, you're going to be shocked at how quickly and how quiet things become.
Yeah, because a nightclub without alcohol only selling burritos is not really going to do that well.
Yeah, and people don't make a lot of noise when the place is closed. Right. So I would involve Hawthorne PD, and also another reason for that is Hawthorne PD, they're there. The ABC has very, very limited resources, and Hawthorne PD has a lot of uniformed police officers, undercover police officers, and they can lend immediate assistance immediately. So I would involve them in the process as well.
Well, the nice thing about the police, they also have arrest powers, and if people are coming out drunk and making noises and all kinds of stuff, and littering and urinating around the neighborhood, like you can visualize this going on, then the police will start arresting the customers. Or the police may put a police car out by the entrance of the parking lot and start arresting people who are drunk as they go out of there.
Right.
Once the word gets out, that will also diminish the, quote, crowd that's coming in there, and maybe the owner will get responsible and start policing his own place. But the police will start arresting people, and they'll start making undercover operations in the nightclub, and suddenly that nightclub might become a church.
or maybe go back to, or here's another idea. When the program is over, or tomorrow, preferably tomorrow, call 1-800-405-4222. Let them know that you came on the show, ask a legal question, and got your legal answer. We'll give you a gift certificate for dinner or lunch for two at a place of our choosing. It will not be this nightclub, I promise you.
Oh, wait, they're running a special.
Unless they have a special. All right.
Well, thank you so much. You have given me hope, and I really appreciate your help.
And by the way, please follow through with it, because you and your neighbors are.
You deserve better.
You can solve the problem fairly quickly, I think.
Yes. We have another. Jane, you take care, and thanks for calling Legal Help Live.
This problem goes on all over, and it's not it's not just nightclubs. You're in an area, and we've got the zoning now in Southern California, and most of the cities in Southern California, is that right next to residents are either high-rise buildings or all kinds of businesses.
Right.
And it's very difficult to peacefully coexist.
Yes,
That's
this
one of the
mixed
big
use thing is tough. It's really tough.
Urban sprawl problems, not small problems.
No, sometimes the sprawl is pretty big. Okay, let's talk to Mary. Mary, come on in.
Hello.
Mary, where are you calling from?
I'm Palos Verdes.
Palos Verdes. Boy, we're all over the place today. What can we do for you today?
Well, I'm working with an attorney regarding a business deal, and I don't want to start with a new attorney, because I have a feeling it'll be too difficult to go through the whole process again. But I have a feeling that I'm overpaying him. Well, I really believe that he is not being active the hours he's charging me, and I'm paying him on an hourly basis.
Okay.
So he thinks he's underpaid, and you think he's overpaid.
Well, not really. I just don't think he's being truthful about how many hours he's billing me. I don't have any proof of the hours that he's billing me.
Do you get a periodic statement?
I do.
What kind of litigation are we talking about, without embarrassing? Is it?
Well, I'm not going into a litigation. I'm not litigating him. I'm not going to sue him right now. I just don't know.
No. What kind of work is he doing for you?
He's working on a contract.
He's working on a contract for me.
Okay.
It's a real estate.
So what you probably need to do immediately is make an appointment, go down and see with him. And does he put anything in writing as to what he believed the estimate of the time would be? And
No, I didn't ask him that in the beginning.
okay, well, maybe it's time now to sit down and say, look, I think I'm getting charged too much for the services that's rendering. I like you, etc., but I can't afford what you're doing, so I need you to convert from an hourly rate to a flat fee rate. How much is it going to cost me to finish this project? And
Okay.
And I want to convert over because it's not working out. If you think he's
Okay.
competent and he's doing a job and you're concerned about the fees, you can ask for a detailed statement. You can sit down with him and go over everything he's done. You can ask him to convert to some other basis. He could say no, or she could say no. You can get a second opinion or a third opinion from another lawyer as to what it would cost. You can stop at this point and go see exactly, to finish up the project, what it would cost you. And if you really think that and I think most lawyers will be effective and honest with you and sit down and try and work with you and open up better lines of communication.
Okay.
And
So obviously then he will probably charge me for the time that I go in and talk to him about this.
well, tell him
issue,
no.
right?
Tell him that you want to come in and talk about the bill, not about your case, and that you don't expect to be billed for the conversation about the bills.
Okay.
That's
So lay that down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right up front. Right up front.
And then if at the end, if you're not happy, then you got to change lawyers.
Uh-huh.
And number two, then you got to find a lawyer that'll handle it on a flat fee to finish it up. And then you got to figure out how much you've been overcharged, and then you write a letter and ask for your money back or part of your money back.
Right. And
Oh,
if he or she does not comply at that point, you always have recourse through the state bar. The state bar regulates attorneys, and they handle this kind of issue regularly.
Okay, good idea.
Okay, Mary, thank you.
And one other thing, if you're really not getting, and you think you're out of substantial money, and it's under $10,000, you can sue the lawyer in small claims court to get your fees back. That lawyer will probably ask you to attempt to mediate or settle it.
Okay. Okay. Because right now it is under $10,000.
Yeah. Well, then at this point,
you're at a good place.
Yeah, you're at a good place. So you're still within the jurisdiction of small claims court. There is fee mediation where they try and resolve it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things you can do.
Okay.
So do it.
You now have.
I will.
Mary, you now have tools. Go get them.
Okay.
And
thanks so much for your help. I really appreciate it.
You bet. And thanks for calling Legal Help Live. Steve, and everybody else, we got to take a little break. When we come back, we'll be taking your calls at 1-800-405-4222, just as it shows on the lower third of your screen there. We'll be back in just a moment. Looking forward to talking to you.
Stay tuned for more Legal Help Live.
Hey, slow down!
Right next to the library on 7th Street is the Santa Monica History Museum, where history comes to life for the entire family. Enjoy the exhibits, main gallery, the photo archive, research gallery, and much more. Come visit the Santa Monica History Museum, keeping history alive.
Experience Highway's Performance Space and Gallery.
I knew my journey would lead me to a place
where I'd find a highway that I could travel to the beat of my own drum. Ride out the storm, 95 Joey died, but Deadly was born. And there would be no limits to the vibrancy of my performance.
Join us each week at Highway's Performance Space and Gallery and live without limits. Log on to highwaysperformance.org.
Who knows what gratitude means? Nicholas?
To be thankful.
Writing letters to our military is a great way to say thank you for their service.
Frisco! Somebody loves you.
Dear soldier, thank you for keeping me safe. You're my hero.
To donate or send a care package to America's heroes, visit OperationGratitude.com.
Discover 30 years of opera in Santa Monica. Discover the Verdi Chorus.
And we are Legal Help Live. We are Ralph and Steve. Ralph over here, Steve over there, to the left and to the right of your screen. And you're calling us at 1-800-405-4222. That's how to get in. That's how to ask a legal question. We've got people on hold through the break, and we want to get to them as fast as we can. How's that sound?
Wait, Fast Law. We should be called Fast Law.
We could do that. We could change the name of the show, but somebody's got to take a chisel and take the logo off your television screen. How about Christiane?
What is it? Was this a starting line thing?
No, this is a caller. We've got Christiane. She wants to talk to us, and we're going to take a legal question as soon as we're all hooked up. Are you there? No, I hear a voice. Hello, hello? I heard a voice. I really did. Okay, we're now on to Ted. All right, Ted. Ted is calling us.
Yes, indeed.
Ted, talk to us. What's your legal question?
Okay, so I had my taxes done back in 2010, and I had a tax preparer do them. I just got a bill from the IRS that says I owe more than I've had to pay in the last 10 years. It's around $40,000.
You owe 40 G's?
That's what it says.
Are you married?
Yes, I am.
Oh, because if you weren't, if you'd talk a little more, you're one of those high wage earners, you'd get married on this show. Okay.
Wait, is this for an? How are you getting this bill from the IRS? What's that supposed to represent?
It's supposed to represent the mistake that was made on my 2010 tax return.
So for
and a whole bunch of penalties added on to it.
Who did your?
I don't want to hear a name.
No. Did you do your own tax return?
No, I had a tax preparer, and that's why I'm wondering if I'm going to be liable for this or if I can sue him for it.
So, do you know what kind of a mistake was made?
It's hard to tell with all of what is written here.
Okay, generally it's either the income's not reported, they match up computer-wise the 1099s and the various other things that go out, or expenses that were not put on the return, or something there, and they're huge penalties.
They add up, penalties, interest. Let me ask you a question, Ted. Was there anything that you neglected to tell the tax preparer as far as what your income was? For example,
and I'm going to advise you not to answer that on the air, because I remember one time we got contacted by the FBI.
Oh, we did. We did. They wanted
the outtakes.
They wanted the tape from the program because they were prosecuting somebody who was actually on the air. All right,
so it was on a radio show.
Same concept.
Let's
without specifically answering the question, I could give you an example. Perhaps you inherited $1.5 million and you forgot to tell that to the tax preparer. That might lead to a slight discrepancy in your income for that year.
Well, let's do it this way.
Yes.
Let's just assume that
let's assume
our
everything was
caller
correct.
has done everything correct. Okay?
Yes, all information, all receipts, everything that you possibly could give your tax preparer appropriately and lawfully, you did. We'll make that assumption.
And it turns out that the tax preparer is someone who took a weekend course at some comedy club in tax preparing and is now preparing the tax return and did it all wrong.
Yes.
So sure, you'd have a lawsuit against the tax preparer. The questions would then be as to whether or not it was their mistake or your mistake, what records were given, what's the basis for it. And there are lots of lawsuits against tax preparers.
You bet there are.
And sometimes there are millions and millions of dollars of lawsuits against accounting firms and tax preparers. And
I think that in the step-by-step approach, what you should do next is to contact an attorney who specializes in tax litigation.
Well, we're talking about $40,000.
I understand that.
And do you have a CPA now?
A different CPA.
He probably wasn't a CPA.
No, it was the same, the one and the same person. The CPA was doing my taxes too.
Oh, really? So have you gone back to him and said, what's up?
Well, before I did, that's why I wanted to know if what my options were before I went and talked to him.
Okay, well, you may have a lawsuit, and you can keep that in the back of your mind. You ought to discover what the issue is before you do that. Now, you can get a consultation with a tax lawyer and have him or her look at it, or you can go back to the original person, who I assume, as you indicate, is a CPA, and ascertain what the basis of the problem is. And it may be a simple, fixable problem that the tax quote preparer can fix up and not charge you anything for and get you off the deal. But I don't know. So.
And if that doesn't work, I'm back to where we were before. That is, you're going to have to contact an attorney who does tax litigation. I understand that we're only talking about $40,000.
No, but it may well be that if you then end up a lawsuit against your tax preparer, the monies that you had to pay to bail yourself out of a problem that was misfiled in the first place would be damages that you'd be able to collect from your tax preparer.
Of course, of course.
That's assumed the tax preparer's got some money and insurance and all this other jazz.
And that there really was a mistake. You have to operate under all of those assumptions. But I think in order for you to fully understand what's going on,
do what a lot of people do.
Which
is the old tear up the envelope and hope they don't ever mail it back again, because they will come back to you again. And the penalties get worse and worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, the passage of time is not your friend in this. You really need to get it resolved as quickly as you possibly can. There's probably a response deadline, and you want to be responding in some way in advance of when you hit that deadline.
Or it could be your wife's playing a big trick on you, and it's all made up.
Well, that would be unusual.
I don't know.
Right. Most of it looks like it's penalties. So maybe if I go back to my CPA, he'll say, "Oh, just it was a minor mistake, and I can negotiate the stuff down or something like that." I just don't want to have to pay that much money.
Well, yeah, sure. If you could negotiate it down from $40,000 to $14.55 or something that you could afford without really getting hurt, that's fine. But you also have to worry about something else. If they're coming after you for 2010, maybe they're going to come after you for 2011. For example.
And what happens, unfortunately, is, and I've seen this in other matters, for money's less than this and money's bigger than this, when the tax preparer says, oh, we're going to fight it, you need to know right away whether or not it's a major screw up and who did it, and is it fixable, and if not, because $40,000 can get to $80,000 real quickly.
Yeah.
If there's a 25% penalty on top of the tax plus interest, et cetera.
Yeah, and mistakes can repeat year to year. That's why I'm saying, watch out for 2011. And before we leave you, Ted,
I'm going to change my opinion again. In light of
Ted's gone.
Well, in light of 2012.
Yes.
And 2013, probably should go see a tax lawyer, because it might.
Yeah. I'm worried about a bigger number.
Those letters yet.
I'm worried about a bigger number than 40,000. And Ted, and for all the IRS agents out there, we love you. We think you're doing a fantastic job. And
go to him.
And my name is not Ralph. I was kidding before. Okay, let's go back and talk to Christiane. Christiane, talk to us.
Yes, I'm here.
You are there.
Hello.
Where are you calling from?
From Los Angeles, Brentwood.
Okay. What can we do for you this afternoon?
My question has to do with credit card debt.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to tell you the story in just a few words. I had to stop paying the credit cards because my husband lost his job, so I continue paying my secured debt, and I figured those are unsecured, so I stopped paying. In 2011, I received a 1099, which is for debt forgiveness from the bank, so I thought I was out of the woods. And then in July of 2012, I was served with a summons. So I'm being sued by a company who bought the debt from somebody, another company, who also in turn bought the debt from Wells Fargo. So they're third in line. So I did a little research and I realized I had to respond. So I responded, and now I have a court date that's set up for July of 2015. My question is, what is the best way to prepare when I go to court, and what kind of outcome should I expect?
Let me ask you this question. How much is the original debt?
The original debt, I think, was around $5,000, and then with the interest and everything, it's about $8,500.
And unfortunately, it's still going up.
Yeah, and interest is accruing.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, because
even though the debt was forgiven and sold to somebody else.
Well, no, the debt hasn't.
It's not been forgiven, but it's been sold to somebody else.
Did you go to bank? Have you filed bankruptcy?
No, that's why I have that debt, because I didn't want to file bankruptcy.
Okay, and what's your credit position now? Are you better?
It's not very good. It's medium. It's better, but it's not very good yet. I have to rebuild it.
Okay, and do you still using credit cards, or are you off credit cards?
I'm off credit cards completely.
Okay. Do you have other credit card debt outstanding on other cards?
Yes, but they're all past the statute of limitation, because I researched it and I saw it's in California. It's 3 or 4 years, and everything. It's old.
So you think they're all outside the statute of limitations? Okay.
That's correct.
I can't tell you whether that's correct or not, but for the purpose of the discussion, I'll just assume what you're telling me is correct. But in regard, what I've found in terms of dealing with these credit card companies, what happened is the credit card company just sold it to someone for a lot less than you owed, and they are generally willing to tremendously negotiate these matters down. Have you tried to do that?
No, I've refused to negotiate because I felt that the debt was forgiven. They gave me a 1099. I had to pay tax on that money. It became income to me.
Oh, wait. They.
Who's they?
Who forgave the debt?
Wells Fargo.
But Wells Fargo.
But they still sold it to somebody else, and the somebody else sold it to somebody else. So they're third in line.
Okay. This is the kind of problem that it's really difficult to give you a decent answer because there are a bunch of documents involved, and we can't see the lawsuit. We can't see any of the documents. I really think you need to get a consultation from somebody in person with all the documents, and you may have done this already. Have you done that?
Yeah, I've done that, but all he did for me was write the response letter, which was important because otherwise I would have lost by default. But now I'm going to go to court, and I want to show up, and I'm hoping I can show the judge my financial situation and that he can understand where I stand.
Yeah, but
I'm wondering the best way to prepare.
You know, Christiane, here's my thought. It's impossible, really, for us now, for the reasons that Steve just said, for us to go through all of the documents that you have in order to tell you what possible defenses you may have. It's just impossible for us to do that without looking at the documents. Because you may be able to negotiate this down from $8,500 to something more reasonable.
But you don't want to do that.
I know you don't want to do that, but you may be told after someone looks at all of these documents that that's a viable option, maybe the only viable option. I don't suggest, and not here, not to you, and not to anybody else, that you do your own surgery. You prepare your own anesthetic and pick up a scalpel.
Is this in small claims court?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so. It's more than $5,000, so I don't think so.
The small claims limit is now not $5,000. It's $10,000 with certain.
Oh, it is. I didn't know that.
With certain limitations and exceptions. But I really think that you have to have somebody take a look at this and tell you what your real options are. And at the same time, if you don't have any other options other than to fight this, then to tell you that that's what you've got to do, and these are the things that you have to present to the court.
And there's a number of debtor rights organizations.
Yeah.
California State Bar has are you computer savvy?
Yes.
So just go on the California State Bar, and they've got a referral list, and one of them, there's a number of debtor rights associations in Southern California. Pick up the phone, make an appointment, go down and see them, bring the documents down, have somebody take a look at it, and see if you can get some free advice as to what to do.
In a legal aid kind of situation. Christiane, we've got to go. I hope you can follow our suggestions, and I hope it comes out exactly the way you want it to end up. And we wish you good luck with that. And thank you for calling Legal Help Live. And don't forget, tomorrow you're going to call 1-800-405-4222 and get a gift certificate for two for a dinner at a location of our choosing. And now we're going to go to Alfredo. Alfredo, are you there? Do I hear Alfredo? I don't hear Alfredo.
Pasta Alfredo sounds very good right
now. Do we have Alfredo or no? Okay, we're waiting for Alfredo perhaps to come back. Here's a fun one.
Hello.
There's Alfredo. We're ready for you.
Yes,
Alfredo.
I'm here.
Okay, where are you calling from?
Orange County.
Where?
Orange County.
Orange County, the great OC. I get it. And what are you calling about?
How can we help you?
Yes. Well, I'm calling in regards to I went to some fast food restaurant and I had a couple of insects in my food. Went to the doctor, felt a little bit ill afterwards.
So you go in and you order a vegetarian plate and you get a non-vegetarian meal.
Correct.
How big were the insects?
I would say a good cockroach size, I believe.
So you get a couple of cooked cockroaches, okay?
How ill were you, and when did this happen?
A few months ago, Friday afternoon, lunch hour from work. Went there, grabbed some food, and turns out I was enjoying it until crunchy time came along, and I saw a few of them, and I noticed that I ate a couple of them because some of them were missing half of their body.
Oh, man. Okay. And what did the doctor say when you saw the doctor?
They thought it was hilarious. They said, of course, the doctor was Oriental as well. So they thought it was hilarious. They said, oh, well, stuff like that happens. Don't worry about it. Just give me some pills. And then call it a day.
Did you have any ill effects after the cockroach feast?
Well, I had some swelling in my stomach, and I was feeling a little bit ill for a couple of days, but he just gave me some pills.
Okay, so it's
nothing wrong. It was just a reaction, he said, because you saw the insect.
You're doing better now?
I'm sorry?
You're better now?
A little bit now. Of course, I would never go there again.
No, cockroaches are not supposed to be cooked unless specifically ordered in the restaurant.
No, most people eat them raw.
So you do have a lawsuit against the restaurant.
Yes, you do.
For serving cockroaches. Did you complain to the restaurant?
Yeah, I did, and they said they would contact their attorney. I said I was just trying to get my money back, and they said hold on, they would call their attorney, and I took pictures of it. I showed everybody around the office. I mean, I have the receipt. I have everything.
Okay,
it's not a problem at all.
You've got damages for the medical expenses you put out. You've also got damages for the emotional distress of the illness you had, because and I suspect that your case may be worth between $500 and $5,000.
Yeah, I'd put it in that range. Yeah.
This is a perfect kind of case with your photographs and any witnesses you might have there, or to file in small claims court. You went to the doctor. There's going to be in the medical records the complaint that you made. You have the photographs. You present the documents and the medical report to the small claims court judge in Orange County, and neither side can have a lawyer, and you'll probably get an award for some dollars to compensate you for your emotional distress. You tell the judge about how you felt and how
and bring witnesses. If somebody was with you, have them come to say that they saw the same thing. They could help identify the animals in the photographs, and also describe how you said you felt at the time, just to corroborate and verify your statement. It might be a good idea to have a witness or two if you can.
And the other possibility you can do is send a letter right now saying that you went, set forth the facts as you know them, and then request what you feel is a reasonable sum to compensate you. Give them a couple of weeks. They may call and try and negotiate. You can negotiate it. You can see a lawyer about that part of it if you want.
Or you could just write the letter yourself. Okay, Alfredo, I think you're on the way. I think you're going to get something reasonable back from either the company or from the small claims court judge. Either way, you'll end up better than you are now. And we're glad that you called Legal Help Live. We're glad we could help you out.
And I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yes, of course.
Go get them.
And now it's time for Meg. I think we have time for one more caller. Is that fair? Okay, one more caller, and it's Meg. Meg? Hello.
Hey.
Where are you calling from, Meg?
I'm calling from Santa Monica.
Okay, we know that area.
How can we help you?
I was actually giving a call. I just had a question. I had one of my neighbors visiting with me, and she actually saw something at my next-door neighbor's house that she was admiring, walked over to their backyard. Their dog attacked them, and she wanted to know, does she have probable cause of filing a lawsuit against them, or would that be considering like trespassing into their yard?
Could be both.
Well, if you're walking, wait, the dog's in his own yard?
Yes.
And it's fenced in? And you're...
you know what? It's got it's a small little fence where you can actually go over on top of it and go over.
Well,
yes, so it would be like going into the neighbor's yard. Yes.
California's got a dog bite law, so there's no requirement that the dog have a violent propensity. Dogs are not supposed to bite.
No. But it's an interesting twist to the old dog bites person, because we have a woman trespassing and get bit. I don't think that.
No, but wait, there are cases where people who are burglarizing houses come running out with stuff, get bit by the dog,
right,
and then sue the landowner.
That's right. So I think what Steve's saying is what I'm saying as well. Yeah, your friend may have a lawsuit against your neighbor,
but you may not win it.
And but how about your neighbor might have a comparative negligence concept because your friend was trespassing in the neighbor's yard, sort of brought the problem on to himself or to herself.
How bad is your friend hurt?
It was a dog bite on the leg, but it was nothing really majorly serious. No, she ended up having to go to the ER and have it cleaned up and get a shot. But nothing really major.
Sounds small claims to me. Yeah. Again, between $500 and $5,000. There may be some offset.
And he may not win.
Might not. Yeah.
But it's worth a shot. I would tell your neighbor not to go in anybody's backyard anymore.
I don't think.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think she's going to do
because
that.
It could have been 6 pit bulls.
Yeah. Well.
Or an angry neighbor with a gun.
We don't know what kind of dog it was. I was assuming it was a Chihuahua. So
I assumed a big vicious pit bull.
We don't know.
Yeah. No. It was. You know what? I don't even know what kind of dog was. A little hairy dog. That's all I.
Oh. Well, that's enough. That's enough for us. All right. Meg, thank you very much for calling Legal Help Live. And for those of you who are out there and didn't get to get on the line and ask that legal question, call again. We're always ready to talk to you at 1-800-405-4222. Legal Help Live. Ralph here, Steve there. We're signing out. See you next time.
Goodbye, everybody. Let's bring those troops home again.
You bet.